Hi folks, this is your latest Planning Outlook updated on Friday the 16th of October. It's quite an awkward few days ahead in forecasting terms, with things just moving around quite slowly, and confidence in the forecast beyond more than a couple of days is therefore quite low. What we can say is that there'll be some low cloud around this weekend, some inversion conditions for a time as well, temperatures generally on the chilly side. Into next week we see lower pressure and some fronts drifting in from the south. Some places will see some rain at times, others will stay drier more often. It's a fairly placid looking chart as we go into the weekend. We've got high pressure away to the northwest. Still a chilly northeasterly drift is across the country as we've seen in recent days. There's again areas of low cloud which will be drifting around slowly. The highest tops, especially in Scotland, likely to be above that cloud, above an inversion, at least for part of the day. The cold front coming down from the north doesn't really have a great deal on it, but it will just lead to a generally lowering of a freezing level later Saturday and onwards into Sunday. We're left with slight high pressure into Sunday, not much wind around, and again some areas of cloud just hanging in many of the corries and some of the higher slopes. Some places could see some sunshine for a few hours though. Temperatures at around or just below freezing point, above 900 to 1000 metres, so again it's a rather cold feeling day. Most places dry, just a chance of one or two very brief light showers or flurries of snow just coming in from the west as that westerly drift just strengthens a little bit, but not too much in the way of any wind. Now, it's the area of low pressure that lies towards the southwest that becomes the complicated factor onwards into next week, as it sort of joins forces with the fronts which exist further north during Sunday, so that by Monday we're left with a real tangle, and getting the detail out of this is treacherous at 3 days out. But the likelihood of some areas of rain, bit of sleet maybe for a time on higher tops, temperatures tending to lift a bit as the airflow comes more from the south by this stage. Some places, particularly the further east you go, have a fair chance of staying largely dry through the day, at the greater risk of dampness and low cloud across more west and south facing mountains, so across the western side of Wales, southwest Scotland particularly. Don't take the detail of these fronts too literally at this stage, but it's just that idea of a strengthening wind and some rain being in the forecast. It doesn't get a great deal easier, it must be said, into Tuesday. Again, low confidence in details of exactly where the fronts are going to be. A generally slack zone of low pressure is nearby, so some places will see some low cloud and some rain and some drizzle fairly persistently, a few showers locally maybe just coming in across Wales and the Pennines. Some places may get away with it for a half-decent day. I wouldn't be opening the door for too much optimism, but some places may have a reasonable day out of Tuesday, but a lot of cloud will be around. Wednesday suggests that a slightly deeper centre of low pressure does a bit of a rotation somewhere across England and Wales, treated again very cautiously with detail. It might be that Scotland is to the north of this zone and in for a brighter day with just a few showers or some snow flurries on the higher tops. The thing to perhaps just suggest is that across Scotland in particular, the airflow is turning back to a cooler northeasterly, so temperatures will be dropping again and likely to be sub-zero on the higher Scottish Munros. The relatively milder air is further south, but I'd still suggest it's a cool feeling day, particularly if that rain is around, and there may well be a strengthening of that wind too around the northern flank of the low. If it does look anything like this, then that northeasterly will be fairly strong across the Pennines, the Lakes and the south of Scotland. Keep a good eye on the forecast though at this stage, a lot to play for in terms of the absolute detail. It's not going to get any easier in the later part of the week. Basically these little centres of low pressure are still swirling around, some places doing quite well, some places less so. Again, that sense of being in a rather chilly pattern, some showers of some snow and some hail may be coming down from the north into the Highlands at times, maybe a greater suggestion of wetter conditions more widely across Wales and the South Pennines, as these centres of low pressure just seem to be wanting to focus a bit further southwards. Higher pressure relatively is somewhat further toward the north as we go to the end of the week. Not an easy one, it must be said. It's not absolutely settled, but if you're in the right place on the right day, you'll do quite well. And I think perhaps western and northern Scotland, again, somewhat more sheltered with the airflow, typically more north or easterly, so doing the best out toward the west. As always, the full 3-day forecast for your local area updated every single day on the MWIS website. Thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.